everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into This Week on Martha's Vineyard. I'm your host, Emmalyn Reid, and tonight we are going to be talking with a very special guest, Steve Capers, who hosts the Martha's Vineyard comedy show annually every single year. Now, of course, like everything else, 2020 is going to be looking a little bit different, so we're going to cut to a short interview with him, really soon. But first, I wanted to talk about a couple of different topics that you guys might have seen on the Islanders Talk Facebook page. There's a lot of chatter going around about the mystery of where the Amazon packages are going. There seems to be some kind of disconnect coming over on the boat, and it seems that people are trying to figure out where those packages might be. Now, that could be, little things, like I know my random packages that I've ordered this week have been a new beach towel, a pumice stone to keep those feet nice. Just because you're in quarantine doesn't mean you can't take care of your feet. What else have I ordered? Oh my goodness, my husband would tell you so many things. But regardless of whatever people have tried to order within the past couple of weeks, it seems to be a consistent theme that things are going missing. So if you have a package missing, please let us know. We're interested to hear about what your experience has been, and I think Amazon is working hard to try to get things over to the island in collaboration with different drivers. The other thing that's been going around on Islanders Talk is, yes, the ram on the island that has been running around, gotten loose. Several people have reported seeing it over on the beach. Several people have said walking through their yard. Yes, there is a ram on the island. I know the owners have been working hard to try to see if they can get that ram back where it belongs, but it has been a bit of a challenge and has caused for some, a little bit of trouble on the island, but I think more people are kind of entertained in looking at the fact that, okay, there's a random ram. So I think that's been a very interesting piece. And the last thing, of course, to comment on is the mask laws that have been downtown. Of course, many people know they are mandatory in downtown Oak Bluffs and downtown Edgartown, and they are doing their best to be enforced. But there was a slightly terrifying, slightly comical picture that was posted earlier this week of a bunch of people that have been sitting under a sign that says this is a mandatory mask zone, taking selfies with not a mask to be found. So it was a very interesting week, and if you guys have things that you have seen, please feel free to let us know. We'd be happy to talk about your topics, about your favorites as well. But for now, we're going to cut over to our main interview for the evening. Please allow me to introduce to you in our video, Steve Capers.
Well, hello, how you guys doing today?
Presented by HBO and hosted by funny man Damon Williams, the fest this year takes place in August at the Strand Theater in Oak Bluffs.
My name is Steve Capers. I'm the managing partner of the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Fest. I want to invite you to what we call a great experience as we celebrate African American humor. We started in 2011, and we were in Vineyard Haven at the Catherine Cornell.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Emmalyn, how you doing today?
Can't complain. Now, where are you now? That's a beautiful kitchen that you're in.
So actually right now, I'm in New Orleans right now. So, I'm from Chicago, but just got a little change of scenery. I'd rather be in Martha's Vineyard right now, getting ready to do a comedy festival, but because of COVID-19, we had to postpone it and make it happen for next August.
Yeah, now that's something that started back in 2011, and from what I've heard over the next 5 years, as you mentioned in this video that we just saw, after those 5 years, it really started to become a working vacation and a dream come true for you guys. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I tell you, it's a blessing. What happened with us is that I was sitting on the beach with my wife, and she was saying that I should do a comedy festival in Martha's Vineyard. And, being that kind of husband, I was like, no, we can't do this. It's too expensive. I can't get the big names over here. So after I thought about it a little bit more, we came up with a strategy. We were trying to get comics that were on the cusp of stardom. And we did it. And the first year we broke even, or came close to breaking even. So we knew that it was going to be successful. So we just started to build the brand. We were out passing flyers. We were doing emails. We were shaking hands, kissing babies, doing it all. And, we have a good brand of comedy. We want our guys to show a lot of range, a lot of depth, and voila. So we built it up, and we started in Vineyard Haven at first, but then we moved over to Oak Bluffs into the Lamppost nightclub, which is no longer there. And then from there, we went to the Strand Theater, and we did a couple of shows at Lola's. So we were really moving, and people think that this is a signature event every summer.
Now, you said that you had gone to several different theaters, which I think is amazing that you guys had the opportunity to perform in different places. But which one was your favorite and why?
Well, every venue is unique. I tell you, the Lamppost was really good to us. I mean, it was hot and steamy, and everybody was clamoring.
Great description of the Lamppost.
I miss them so much. But the thing is, we had put out chairs for about 175, but it was so many people who wanted to come in, so we kind of expanded a little bit, added extra seats. So we were actually at 225, and no matter how hot it got, the shows got funnier.
Now, I know that a lot of these guys that you brought over, maybe some of them it was their first time coming over, maybe for some of them they'd been there before, but what are some of the experiences that you had with these guys? And were there any in particular that you were like, okay, wow, I think this is going to be his new favorite place?
Well, actually, the real comedy show is at the house. I get all the comedians, we stay in one house, and matter of fact, Bravo was looking at doing a reality show with us because so much humor and comedy is going on at the house. And there are a lot of comics who haven't been to Martha's Vineyard, so this is their first time, so they're trying to experience the island. It's totally different from them. They're used to performing in different cities and, little small clubs, this and that, and now they get out to a different audience that they're like a big fish in a small pond. And so they really feel like they made it. We kind of rolled out that red carpet for them. So, but Damon Williams, who's the host of our festival, he's actually the face of our festival too. He loved it. I introduced it to him and to him and his wife, and he just began to just get in sync with Martha's Vineyard, learn the island, meet the people, and so everybody looks forward to seeing him.
So were there any things about the island that you had to kind of explain to them, like things that maybe didn't make sense? Like maybe the first time they heard, okay, we're going to go get dirty bananas, were they like, what? Or, okay, yeah, you're going to hop on the boat. What boat? Were there any funny moments like that where they, you just had to explain to them little, quirks of the island?
Yeah, so one of the things is that, we don't lock our doors in our house. And, these are city guys. They're like, wait, we don't lock doors? So that was something they had to get used to, because we only had one key to the house. So everybody was doing their thing, and we just never locked the door. But that was kind of foreign to them. Just eating all the good food, that was always, inviting to them, eating lobster on the regular. I mean, they don't do that daily. So it was a good experience for everyone.
I can sympathize with the door locking. Back home where I grew up on the Cape, we never locked our doors really either. It was just kind of, come and go, but okay, you know where the key is if, you need it and you came home too late, whoops. But which happened time to time. But living in the city, it was so vastly different that, all my roommates were like, oh my gosh, no, you have to. So coming from going back and forth, it's just so funny that, different places that you go, it's just, some people do, some people don't. So that's pretty funny. But I imagine you guys had a lot of stories like that in the Comedy House.
And we do. And the thing about it, the guys translate their experience to the stage. So, for example, one of the comedians said he came out of the jail in Martha's Vineyard and he wanted to go back because they gave him a lobster roll and he had house and a robe.
Okay, so wait a second. Now, that's a story within a story. How did he wind up in the jail?
Oh, well, we drove past it. He thought it was a house. And I said, no, that's when you go and get locked up if you do something bad.
The charm of Martha's Vineyard.
Exactly the charm. So, no, he didn't do anything bad. He just was like, wow, that's where people go, if they got a speeding ticket or something like that, Oh,
I thought we were going to get a real crazy story, and I was like, wait a second.
No, we tell them to be on their best behavior. One of the ways we do that is we tell them to bring a spouse with them or a significant other. So, most of the comics are pretty tame, when they got their significant other with them.
Yeah, I can testify to that. I've had some friends come over, and there has been a time or two where we've had to go and pick them up at the jail. But people do tend to behave a little bit more when their husband or wife is watching. Now, let's talk about the whole heart of the story tonight. Obviously, 2020 is going to be a very, very different show. Can you talk about how, I know there were mentions of you guys doing something virtual, or are we fully postponing? Can we just let people know, what exactly is going to be happening in 2020?
So basically, we postponed the show to 2021 because every August is when we do our shows. But what happened was we came up with a digital comedy fest. So what we have is the Martha's Vineyard Digital Comedy Fest. And so you can see past shows that we've done over the past 9 years. What we're also doing is updating our Instagram account, our Facebook page. We're really trying to keep people engaged. And this has been something for us because people were looking forward to us. People need to laugh, and especially in these times. So when I first announced it, I was feeling really sad and bad about it because I've got so many testimonials from people saying, we need you, we like you, we appreciate what you're doing for the island. But I thought that I had to do it because, I couldn't take on the liability or the risk, if someone got sick. And I thought it was just a proper thing to do at the moment. So we're revamping because I got to even take care of the comics too. I mean, I got to spray microphones because I don't want people sharing microphones anymore. So there's a lot of stuff, behind the scenes that I got to really take care of first before really going out there and putting on a show.
And what has the sense been in the comedy community, with everything that's going on, larger than, just, doing this one particular show? Has there been kind of a sense of community around comedians, and has there been, anything that you think should be brought to light here?
Well, comedians are using social media to work on bits, and but the thing is, you need four walls and a ceiling with comedy. Because laughter is contagious. It needs to bounce from the ceiling to the walls. People got to feel it. So they're not getting the same kind of response through social media. But what's happening is they're continuing to write, they continue to talk to each other. So when 2021 comes around, I think they're going to be even funnier than before. They got so much material that's just been festering. So this is a whole reset for everybody, for promoters, for comedians, you name it. So I'm really looking forward to 2021, and we're going to move fast. But in the meantime, we're going to provide this digital comedy fest for everyone to reminisce on the good old times and still laugh.
You said you're ready for 2021, and honestly, Steve, you and me both. I'm ready. I'm like, all right, 2020, you came, you saw, you conquered. I'm done with this. I'm ready for 2021. So let's talk about some of the comedians that you had lined up for this year. Did you talk about that lineup? Is that going to be similar for next year, or are we going to alter it a little bit?
Well, I'm bringing back the lineup that we were going to have for 2020 and 2021. It's a fire lineup. I mean, we got Kim Whitley, Ralph Harris, Alonzo Bolden, of course, Damon Williams is the host. So we have Vanessa Fraction and so many more. And so what I want to do is make sure I bring them back, but then also enhance the festival with maybe bringing in a big banger, that everybody knows as soon as they step on the island. They be like, hey, that's like a Kevin Hart, So,
oh my gosh, he's one of my favorite people. He makes me laugh every time. Whenever I'm having a bad day, it's one of the two. It's either going to be Will Ferrell or it's going to be Kevin Hart. Those are my favorites.
Two good choices, yes.
Well,
the thing is, I want, so I've been talking with Laugh Out Loud Network over the past couple of months. So we got some big surprises in store. Nothing's, confirmed yet, but we're looking at doing some big things.
And you guys work with HBO as well as your sponsor. That's probably been a pretty amazing journey as well.
I tell you, this couldn't happen without HBO. I take my hat off to HBO because HBO is primarily movies, and they have a small comedy, stand-up comedy segment on that they show, not routinely, but every so often. And so they took a gamble on us. I told them about the audience at Martha's Vineyard. I told them what we're doing. I expressed the brand of comedy that we have. And they rolled the dice, and they stayed with us from the beginning. So I give them a lot of shouts.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break, but we will be back right after this message to ask you a few more questions.
All right, sounds good.
There is no better place to take in the sweeping views of Edgartown Harbor while enjoying fresh local seafood and cold drinks than the Seafood Shanty on Dock Street. With views from, well, any seat in the restaurant, everyone gets a water view. Whether resting in the air-conditioned dining room on the first floor or in the open air upstairs on the island's largest deck, this is the place where you realize you have everything you came to Martha's Vineyard for. The Seafood Shanty is where the seafood and the view of the sea meet. Open daily for lunch and dinner and nightlife entertainment.
Located in the Edgartown Triangle, Trader Fred's is a discount haven for locals and tourists. From fishing bait to boogie boards to bikinis, Fred's has what you need. If you didn't find what you wanted, then you must have missed it.
A blistering day on the island can quickly turn into a cool retreat at sea with MV Ocean Sports' dynamic array of water sport activities. From parasailing high above the Vineyard Sound to skimming across its glassy surface on your very own jet ski, MV Ocean Sports has everything fun for everyone. MV Ocean Sports focuses on fun activities the whole family can participate in, including water skiing, wakeboarding, kneeboarding, and tubing. Open daily with sunset specials. Visit mvoceansports.com for more information.
Step back in time. The Edgartown Diner at 65 Main Street offers classic, delicious comfort food at affordable prices. Serving breakfast all day, lunch, and dinner. Discover why everyone loves the Edgartown Diner.
Thank you guys all so much for sticking with us. We are here with Steve Capers of the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Fest, and we're just talking about so many different things. I know this has had to move to 2021, unfortunately, but you guys have a really strong lineup that I am looking forward to. Do you guys know where it's going to be held for next year yet?
Well, we're going to do it at the Strand Theater. They've been very supportive with us, and we were able to negotiate to extend the lease to next year. So we're going to be at the Strand Theater, where it's nice and cool and air conditioned, unlike the lamppost.
Yeah, that place, I have to say I really loved my experience there. I've had a wonderful, wonderful time, as I think anyone that goes would, if they got to check it out. But there's a lot of change that's been happening on the island. Have you been able to, come back and see some of those new places that have opened up on the island?
No, so actually, I'm looking at coming back in August, just, do kind of a drive-by, do like 3 or 4 days, check things out, trying to get a pulse of what's really happening. But I've been talking to various people, and interesting enough, it seems to be that it's still popping. A lot of people are out there, and a lot of moving and shaking going on.
Yeah, it was. It's very surprising. I think a lot of people thought that, summer 2020, with everything happening, that people would kind of just stay back and they'd see less tourism and less visitors, which, of course, was going to be, a difficult blow for the island economically. But, people seem to really just not be able to stay away. So it's definitely very interesting. But I want to talk about some of your favorite places. If you were there right now, where would be your first stop?
Well, I got to stop at the Edgartown Diner. Breakfast and lunch, they do an excellent job there. Then I also got to walk down Circuit Avenue and go by, what's the name of the store that I get all my little stuff from? It's down the street. But yeah, those are the two places I would definitely have to stop by.
Yeah, I know there's just so much.
And of course the Inkwell. I got to stop at the Inkwell, hang out and see everybody.
Absolutely. So we actually were just talking with the owners of Edgartown Diner a couple weeks ago, and it's been very interesting because now they've had this outdoor seating, which I think is really, really interesting. And it's funny because people are like, well, can't you just keep that when COVID's all over? Because that's been a pretty awesome addition. I think people are really enjoying the outdoor dining. But what's your favorite thing on their menu? If you could pick any one thing to tell people, if you go there, you have to try this.
So basically, when I go there, I just put my hands on my eyes and go down the menu to this one here, But no, I love the chicken that they have there. It's really good. Lobster rolls. You just can't go wrong there. If you're doing breakfast, the omelet, I love them.
Yeah, they're good.
Can't go wrong.
Now, you said that you were at the beach, with your wife when you made that decision of, yes, we're going to do this comedy show. What's your favorite beach on the island?
Oh, definitely the Inkwell. That's because it's a place where we all network. And then in South Beach, I love the waves bouncing off of me. But the Inkwell is probably where it's convenient because we all stay in Oak Bluff, so it's easy to get to.
Gotcha. Yeah, South Beach is, it's really hit or miss. My husband loves it, but I get in there and they had to laugh at me one time because I tried going in the water and I'm like, okay, got knocked down by one wave and I was like, okay, got up, shook the sand. All right, whatever, I'm good. And then before I can even take my next step and I'm all happy, boom, another wave right over. So then I'm like, okay, got to catch my breath. And then I look over at my husband and he's just like, and another third one comes over and boom, I'm rolling up to the shore. And so he comes and he grabs me. The lifeguards are all laughing at me, of course. They see him helping and they're just like, oh man, this girl. And I was like, all right, I'm okay. They're like, you sure? And I was like, yep. So,
the East Coast is where we just kind of network and hang out, but South Beach is when we really get in the water and let it just pound you away.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed back there anymore. I don't think my husband will put up with me going. So now I know that we have, a lot of festivals that are, like we have mentioned so many times before, aren't really happening this summer. But are there any other than the Comedy Fest that you've come to enjoy or that you've liked or that you would like to see in 2021?
Oh, yeah. Well, the African American Film Festival, I support those guys. They do a great job with showcasing a lot of independent movies. I wish I could spend more time with them, but when I'm there, I'm working hard. But I always do try to sneak out once in a while and catch a glimpse of one of their premiere shows.
And what's been your favorite that you've seen? Is there anyone that stuck out in your mind that you're like, okay, people need to see this?
Well, they did a showing of Cat Williams with his stand-up. This was a couple of years ago that Spike Lee had produced. And because it is comedy, I really had to go see that and see what they're talking about. But they did a good job on that. And there was a packed house at the high school or the Performing Arts Center. And so, but that was a couple of years ago.
All right. Well, it looks like it's just about time to cut to one more commercial break. I know it feels like we just got back, but we're going to cut to just one more, and then we will wrap up our questions.
All right.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Monday morning or Friday night, from barbecues to birthday parties, and from rainy days to beach days, Tony's Market has what you need. Check out our daily deli specials and a huge selection of beer and wine.
Mikado Asian Bistro on Main Street in Vineyard Haven features a creative assembly of artistic sushi, Chinese, Japanese, Thai, and fusion food that pushes well beyond the standard fare. Serving lunch and dinner with daily specials and a full bar, Mikado has something for everyone, including kids. Mikado, a distinct place that will keep you coming back again and again.
The perfect place for family-friendly fun, Island Cove Adventures on State Road, Vineyard Haven is the island's only mini golf course. Play a round of golf, climb the rock wall, then grab lunch at our grill. And don't forget to try some homemade ice cream.
Nothing says summer like Santoro Hospitality Group's restaurant on Martha's Vineyard. And Oak Bluff's Fishbones Bar and Grill overlooks the harbor where you can enjoy a delicious Caribbean-infused meal. The Ocean View Restaurant and Tavern is a local favorite with great food, friendly service, and is open year-round. The Lookout Tavern offers diners unrivaled ocean views with creative cuisine including sushi, sliders, fish tacos, barbecue ribs, and more. When you're looking for the freshest catch of the day, visit the Net Result on Beach Road in Vineyard Haven. Shop at their seafood market or grab a bite to eat at the takeout window. Thank you guys all so much for sticking with us here on This Week on Martha's Vineyard. We are here with Steve Capers, who puts on the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Festival, which is usually really, really amazing. But this year, like many other things, we've had to postpone to next year. But Steve, I want to know from you, what are those dates that people can mark their calendars for?
Well, we're there on the island for 3 weeks every August, and it's always the first week in August, whatever that Monday falls on. So we do 3 weeks nonstop, Monday through Thursday, and tickets sell out pretty fast. So tickets will actually go on sale like the second week of January. So stay tuned.
Man, I bet Friday is a real weekend for those guys after going Monday through Thursday. Oh my goodness, I bet they're ready to party come the weekend.
That's why I say it's a working vacation. So they work hard and they got to play hard as well.
What a better place to work, though, really, than Martha's Vineyard, right? You've got the beaches, you've got the nightlife, you've got the great food, which all of your, every single one of your comedians have tried to, try to find their own thing that they love. So really excited about that. But if people want to find you, find your website, learn everything they possibly can to be ready to go as soon as 2021 hits, where would you send them?
Well, they will go to marthasvineyardcomedyfest.com. They can start there, and that can take them to our Facebook page. They can take it to our Instagram, and we'll have updates on the site.
Awesome. And on your Instagram page, what are you guys, keeping up with? I know you said you've been doing revamping, and on Facebook you're trying to, reorganize everything, which I think many of us are, because, it's something to kind of focus on, and social media really is the best way to keep people engaged, especially with all the distancing. What are some of the changes that have been made, and what are some of the posts that you guys have been working on?
So interesting enough, we have so much content that has not been seen, from pictures to video. And so what we're trying to do is put it all together and just kind of put it out there throughout the whole month of August. But it's something that, I'm kind of the old guy, social media. I'm like, okay, let the young person handle that. And so now that we've gathered all this content from this past years, for the past 10 years, if you will, we're just going to start pushing it out through YouTube, through Instagram, through Facebook. But all of that can be seen on our Martha'sVineyardComedyFest.com site.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time again today, Steve. We really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to 2021, and I can't wait to hear about, I know you're going to have that same guest lineup, but I'm really excited about the banger that you said you're going to bring in. I cannot wait to find out who this is. I'm so excited.
We're going to get it together, but before I leave, I want to just say thank you this week on Martha's Vineyard. I mean, you, Mike, Colin have helped me get to a successful point with this festival. And it could not be done without you guys' help. You guys are like the boots on the ground. And with the helping me produce video content, helping me with marketing, I'm really grateful for you. I know I give HBO a lot of credit, but you guys are foot soldiers and doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much. And you're doing great work, so you make it easy. But thank you again. Thank you for being here. And we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. We are going to be wrapping up here tonight on This Week on Martha's Vineyard. Thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions more about Steve, make sure that you check out that website, and you can head over to his Instagram, YouTube. There's going to be a lot of content, and stay tuned for what's happening in 2021. And of course, if you want to keep up with This Week on Martha's Vineyard or Performer TV, make sure that you check out our Instagram and Facebook pages. Thank you guys all so much, and have a great night.